Hello everybody, welcome back to Wolfeei. Today we're going to be talking about the Roshambo charity event that took place yesterday. As like a semi-event review, it'll be talking about the event as a review, but I'm kind of going to use the event as an example. Of course, I get an ad right now. This is the event that happened yesterday on Tuesday. I'm recording this on Wednesday. And it was interesting, all right? It was an interesting event. I'll try to talk about it in a bit more detail in case you missed it. But yeah, Roshambo, you might know Roshambogames from the Lifesteal SMP. Hosted a little tournament with a bunch of creators. This was the little screenshot we took at the end. This is not everybody that was there, but the majority of people that were there are in this screenshot, I think. Like, for example, Booster is not in this screenshot, but he was there. And there's others probably as well missing that I may be, forgetting about. But that's, unlucky, I guess. Either way, yeah, there was a bunch of creators that just kind of hopped in a not a single player, in a survival world altogether. And we were told, together, we're gonna beat the goal is to beat the game. But don't just speedrun the game and finish the event immediately. We're gonna have set times at which the nether opens, the end opens, etc. Make groups, cause conflicts, and have fun. Make funny content, whatever, and get to meet new people. And all of that definitely happened. This was kind of a crazy, crossover moment for, some of the parts of the modern day Minecraft scene. Not everybody, of course, but most of the people here are relatively new to an extent, right? People that have become the most prominent in the past 5 years, with a mix, of course, like Toby and Sneak have been around for maybe a little bit longer, Sneak more so, right? But yeah, even myself, I've been around for a decent amount of time too. Regardless, yeah, just a fun little group of people getting together and kind of effing around, having a good time. And it was really fun. It wasn't like revolutionary either, right? It was a very simple concept. It's just, here's a survival world with in-game voice chat and have fun. There was also a Twitch spawn gimmick that Roshambo implemented, which was the charity aspect of this event, where if people donated a certain amount of money, certain things would happen in-game. This caused, bounties to occur, which then make somebody a target, or it would give people a buff or a debuff, etc., right? And this was a nice little fun gimmick to throw in, and of course, for charity purposes, very important, because the event ended up raising around $6,000, or actually exactly 6,000 pretty much at the end, which was one of the goals, pretty much, for this event, right? Which is very good, and yeah. W charity, as per usual, a very unique and good one as well, which is to do with, politics in America as of recent, but we're not going to get into that here. But yeah, good event. And the main thing that I want this video to kind of cover is this type of event, I think, is underdone, if that makes sense, right? It feels like something that could be more common. Not necessarily the charity aspect of things, as much as I do think that is very good and of value, of course. Even just having a server where a bunch of creators just show up and have fun, have some stream content or something along those lines, essentially a very temporary SMP, is cool. I think this is a really fun approach to content creation. I think it's something that could be explored more often. To me, of course, it's within a different context, but some of the other examples where we see this kind of happen is when the speedrunners do Blazing Caves, for example, which is this really big Minecraft challenge, one that they dedicate I think close to 100 hours towards, all combined. And it's just a big collaborative thing where people put in the effort together and put up a show, essentially, right? For the speedrunners, like mentioned, it's, of course, the goal is, hey, let's try to beat this as fast as possible, as, per usual with the classic speedrunning approach. In this one, it is just have fun, and because of charity, raise money, which is also great, right? Either way, just kind of a base foundation. I said this as feedback in the Discord as well, when people were talking. This is just a type of event that I think could be explored to happen more often. Of course, the main thing that holds it back is somebody needs to take the initiative, right? Who will be the one to host it? Because I think a lot of creators would be open to kind of just, effing around and having fun. Of course, having a charity aspect makes it more appealing for people to show up, but even if there isn't a charity thing and it's just kind of like a live streamed content thing, maybe somebody could turn it into a video or whatever, right? Kind of what Booster and I have been doing somewhat recently as well. It's a type of content that I think could happen more often, and especially with the mini game side of things, right? As of recent, kind of taking a step back, you know, literally just a few days ago, Pandora's Box kind of said like, hey, we are not going to be present pretty much for 2025 and potentially even a good portion of 2026, right? We're taking a step back. We haven't heard from some of the other smaller events in a little while. MCC, of course, is still ongoing. Block Wars is, you know, hosting stuff while it's also on break. Other events are also occurring, like Chamber of Trials, like Buy and Battle, but generally for the, you know, collaborative event, in quotations, event side of things, this year is a bit more, or at least as of right now in the summer, a bit more on the quiet side for as far as we know. And having something set up that kind of could fill that gap is nice. And like mentioned, it could be, you know, turn into a video. So it could even, you know, for the person hosting it, assuming you have a good idea, could even be worth it, you know, at the end to just have a good video. You get a bunch of people that you could put in your video. It's good content, of course, you know, editing however many POVs potentially at least would be a lot, but hey, it's possibly a video, which I think would be good. Also, I should be on this tab, not the other one. This is roughly what the gameplay was looking like, you know, the 2/3 throughout the event, where we took on the end, etc. Yeah, I just think if what you could do here, right, very simple idea, is you could just put a bunch of creators in a server like this. No mods necessarily. You could even throw a mod in there, but kind of just by the base foundation is just a vanilla server. You set up teams. In this one, people made their teams. Maybe you could still do it where people make their teams. They join like a faction. You have a faction leader, and they have to pick their people. I'm actually just live game designing right now in this video. But essentially, you set up teams, and then everyone has one common goal. There has to be some, you know, some sort of goal that everyone wants to kind of get to the same point, points of interest that kind of lead people to the same direction, and then the whole gimmick is that there's going to be conflict, there's going to be activity and stuff, right? Planning, all right? For example, my team, Mapic, who I hadn't met or spoken to beforehand, by the way, literally, the element of this event about meet new people applied the most to my team, considering I had not ever spoken to Mapic. I had spoken to Bacon, but only in person. Prior to meeting them in person, I had never spoken to Bacon before. This is like my first time being online with Bacon, pretty much. Pofa I knew, but I had barely spoken to. And Ross I also knew, but also had barely spoken to. So this was just a little squad where I just got to meet so many more people, which was very nice. And also Roshambo is somebody I had literally never spoken to prior to this event. So also nice to meet them, of course, as well. And yeah, no, this was just a really refreshing experience, and I think something that, like mentioned, if the right people, you know, have the will and want to do it, it could be a recurring thing that does go really well. I also think I just skipped part of my brain activity. Mapic suggested, hey, we should prepare brewing potions as a strategy, right? Because what if? More so, when we get to the end, there's probably going to be people there and they're going to kill us, right? So we got to prepare and we got to get strength, etc. And yeah, no, that was like good and fun and awesome. Either way, that's kind of the yap about this event. I think it was really fun. Again, nothing crazy, right? And I don't think anyone had the expectation this was going to be crazy. We just expected, hey, just gonna have a little bit of fun, raise some money for charity, and see how it goes. And it went well. I think this is, like mentioned, very much something that could reoccur. Maybe not specifically this format, but a similar format could just happen again. Either way, that's kind of my yap session. In case you watched this event, let me know your thoughts on it, of course. I'm curious to hear the viewer side of things. I know from my POV things were maybe a little bit odd or confusing, because for like half of the event was kind of alone, which was the opposite of what was supposed to happen, which was not on purpose, but just naturally occurred. And near the end, I was just kind of trying to follow the crowd and not really sure of what to do. I was, funnily enough, carrying my team a little bit, because of my speedrunning experience as of recent, which is very cool to see. Like, hey, the speedrunning has actually like helped. It actually matters, right? Because I was setting up, you know, pearl trades and stuff and everything like that, which was really cool, and kind of just general knowledge of how to traverse the nether and stuff. So yeah, that was really cool. Anyways, enough yap. Let me know your thoughts on this event, and if you didn't watch it, the VOD probably won't be up from my POV. I'm sure like Pangy or someone like that will have their POV up, maybe, because again, like mentioned, for my POV, my POV wasn't like the highest quality for this one, but yeah, maybe I'll save it for the third channel, so maybe it'll be up, but just on a different channel. Either way, thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Goodbye.